It all started when that kid drowned last summer. There's something in these woods, and all it knows how to do.
Oh boy, seems like it's resurrection time for the OG slasher franchise. First, we got the teaser trailer of a new Friday the 13th series, Crystal Lake, and now there's news on the grapevine that Freddy Krueger is coming back to give us sleepless nights. Yep, that's quite literally one of Freddy's supernatural powers. Of course, I'm watching Freddy vs. Jason tonight. Anyway, the point is that it's been over a decade since we last saw Freddy sporting those razor-sharp claws, and I can't explain how goddamn excited I am to watch the new project. It's gonna be a major nostalgia blast, and I'm so in. Now, before I ramble any more about my love for Krueger and his burnt face, let's check out everything that we know about the new movie.
It's like someone put a curse on this town.
Thank you, Paramount, the platform's reviving shows which are such a refresher for our childhood memories. Frasier, Rugrats, Pet Sematary, Bloodlines. What an absolute blessing Paramount has been recently. And now they've turned their eyes upon none other than the literal nightmare, Freddy Krueger. Thanks to Variety, we now know that Paramount has signed a deal for the United States rights to the original screenplay of A Nightmare on Elm Street, the gem of a movie which was written and directed by Wes Craven. The new movie is supposed to be released under Paramount's new genre label, Paramount Primal, headed by Rafael Margules and J.D. Lifshitz, the duo who produced films such as Companion, Weapons, and Woman of the Hour. LaBunker told Variety, "Jonathan and I are so excited to be partnering with JD and Rafi, along with the terrific team they've assembled at Paramount Primal." The domestic rights were held by the Wes Craven estate, which now includes Craven's son, Jonathan Craven, and widow, Aya LaBunker. It's currently represented by Zifrin Brittenheim LLP and WME and Industry Entertainment. The two will produce the now untitled project, rather a new rendition of it, with Mark Toberoff. But Mark came into the picture in an interesting way. He was once an attorney who specialized in copyright law before turning his attention to film producing. The thing is, initially, A Nightmare on Elm Street was completely under the control of New Line Cinema, which produced the original film in 1984. Once the movie became a massive success, well, it transformed the once small independent studio into a big business overnight and earned New Line the nickname, The House That Freddy Built. However, that changed in 2019 when, under US copyright laws, creators were allowed to reclaim the rights to their work 35 years after publication. Taking advantage of this provision, the estate of writer and director Wes Craven successfully regained the US rights to the original A Nightmare on Elm Street screenplay, with the help of attorney Mark Toberoff, who had experience about this since he secured a similar victory for Victor Miller, the original screenwriter of Friday the 13th. The rights situation is now split. While the Craven estate controls the US rights to the original screenplay, New Line Cinema, which is now owned by Warner Brothers, still holds the international rights to the franchise. That means that any future film would require both parties to come to an agreement, and that's one of the biggest reasons for Freddy Krueger to remain absent from the big screen for so long. Lifshitz and Margules will be serving as executive producers. The first Nightmare on Elm Street of 1984 revolved around a high school student, Nancy Thompson, who lived in the quiet suburban town of Springwood. One night, Nancy experienced a terrible nightmare in which she was being chased by a mysterious man who had a badly burned face and wore a striped sweater. Worst of all, he had a glove fitted with metallic claws. For some reason, the dream felt disturbingly real to Nancy, and the poor girl woke up frightened. Surprisingly enough, the next day, Nancy discovered that her friends, Tina, Glenn, and Rod, too, had been having similar nightmares which involved the same frightening figure. The teenagers tried their best to brush the experiences aside, but the dreams became increasingly vivid and impossible to ignore. It reached a point where the nightmares were being accompanied by strange events in their real lives. At first, the adults around them dismissed it as anxiety or children's overactive imagination, but Nancy's mother sensed something deeper. She and the local authorities tried to offer logical answers to what the kids were experiencing, but nothing seemed to validate the mysterious dreams, and of course the gruesome man appearing again and again in their dreams. Soon, the children tried to avoid falling asleep to escape the horrific experiences, but Nancy realized that running away from the nightmares wouldn't provide a permanent solution. She began searching for answers and discovered a terrible history buried deep in Springwood's past. Nancy connected the details, and as she investigated further, she found out that nightmare figure seemed to follow a set of rules, and decoding them might help her to survive and protect the people that she loved. The story built towards a tense confrontation between Nancy and Freddy as she attempted to put an end to his haunting spree. The film blew audiences' minds and earned around $57 million worldwide on a meager budget of $1.1 million. The Washington Post's Paul Atanzio appreciated the film and said, for such a low-budget movie, Nightmare on Elm Street is extraordinarily polished. The script is consistently witty. The camera work by cinematographer Jacques Haitkin is crisp and expressive. Of course, the movie became Hollywood's new cash cow, and it spawned a franchise. And over the years, Freddy Krueger has appeared in 10 projects, which consists of the original film and 7 sequels, the 2010 reboot, and the TV series titled Freddy's Nightmares. He also popped up in video games, and I swear to God, I'm still not comfortable playing any of them. When the creators have picked up such a legendary franchise, it's extremely important that they keep the fan base in mind. And knowing that the new movie is set in the original world of A Nightmare on Elm Street, well, it's some assurance. But then again, we're practically yearning for a good comeback of Freddy after 2010 disappointed both fans and critics. The movie was released toward the end of Hollywood's horror remake craze, and commercially, well, it didn't tank. The thing is, moviegoers weren't interested in seeing anyone other than Robert Englund haunting teenagers in their dreams. That was our biggest chance to introduce the slasher villain to the new generation. But God, it was awful. Fortunately, that's exactly what LaBunker thinks too. She told The Hollywood Reporter, "We look forward to bringing the world of Wes Craven's Nightmare on Elm Street to a new and completely engaged generation of fans." Plus, the good part is that LaBunker trusted Leifshitz and Margules to work on her late husband's brainchild, and that tells us a lot. The duo stated, "The fact that Aya and Jonathan have entrusted us with this opportunity to help usher a new story into this world is an honor beyond words. We look forward to working alongside them to bring a terrifying new nightmare to audiences everywhere and to welcome Freddy home." Yes, please, we can't wait any longer. Aya LaBunker, too, shared her enthusiasm about reviving Freddy Krueger and said, "We know that Wes would have been thrilled to see how horror is taking its long overdue place in the cultural canon. We can't wait for all of us to sit together in a dark theater around the campfire of today as the next chapter of the nightmare story unfolds." As of now, we have no official update on what the story might be or who can play the new Freddy Krueger, but we have a couple of names in mind because, well, after the 2010 disaster, Paramount better be careful about who it chooses to take up the mantle from Englund. First up, we have Bill Skarsgård. The man stunned us with his performances in the It movies, directed by Andy Muschietti, and his recent chilling portrayal of Count Orlok in Robert Eggers' Nosferatu. Bill is currently a fan favorite choice to wear Krueger's iconic green and red striped sweater. Skarsgård is known for his immersed performances, and when he was playing Pennywise, the dancing clown, he got so absorbed into the role that he said in an interview with Entertainment Weekly, "I was home, done with the movie, and I started having very strange and vivid Pennywise dreams. Every night, he came and visited. It was in the shape of either me dealing with him, sort of Pennywise as a separate entity of me, and then also me as Pennywise in circumstances that I didn't appreciate. Like, I am Pennywise, and I'm really upset that I'm out in public and people are looking at me." Okay, well, as much as I want Bill to be the new Freddy, it seems like playing the Dream Demon might not be great for him. Next up, one of my personal favorite candidates on this list would be Errol Shand. I'm not even going back to what a brilliant job Shand did as Casey in Wolfram or as Wayne Chocker Fahey in Harry. I'll just talk about his role in Evil Dead Burn, and trust me, he'll make you love your father-in-law even when he says, "No phones during dinner." Shand is a great character actor, and when he played the Deadite in Evil Dead Burn, the horror was visceral. His expressions, anger, body language, voice, it was as if Shand totally surrendered himself to the role. Well, I mean, look at his face. And tell me he won't be great as the new Freddy Krueger. Moreover, Shand also fits the age bracket for Freddy. See, Freddy isn't a young guy, and though Robert Englund carried the helm of Freddy till 2003 in Freddy vs. Jason. After that, Jackie Earle Haley took over the role in 2010, but considering that we're going with the OG energy, Englund would have been perfect. However, he's now in his 70s and a little too old to come back, but Shand is in his 60s and can play the creepy child molester. Another choice would be Tim Robinson. Yep, I know that that's a big swing, because the guy is most well known for comedy series on Netflix titled I Think You Should Leave. But if you think about it, Robinson's superpower is making people uncomfortable with his comedic elements. Then, the HBO series The Chair Company proved that Robinson's signature personality is not restricted to sketch comedy. Sure, making Robinson successfully pull off Freddy Krueger would require a filmmaker who would understand how to harness Robinson's unsettling presence. It's possible that the right director would recognize that the most effective horror in today's time is primarily built around anxieties. And obviously, we all know that's the powerhouse of nightmares. Hey, this is just my opinion, because, well, there's already a connection here. J.D. Lifshitz and Rafael Margules also produced a black comedy, Friendship, which starred Tim Robinson. Last but not the least, Jack O'Connell. After 28 years later, The Bone Temple and Sinners, I don't think that we need much proof what a terrifying presence Jack can evoke. Yeah, he's a bit on the younger side. Jack is only 35, but so is Bill. But for both these actors, we know for a fact that a little makeup and prosthetics can easily compensate for the appearance, because as far as playing a super scary monster, both have incredible talent. Moreover, he's made quite the name by playing damaged yet charismatic characters. You know, the kind of person who first draws you in before revealing how dangerous they really are. And I guess, well, he might just be a great fit for Freddy. You know what'll be the biggest surprise? If somehow, anyhow, Robert Englund has some role in this new iteration. See, as of now, we have no clue whether the new film will take some elements from Craven's script or just remake it beat by beat. Whatever it is, the very news that Freddy is returning is enough to get fans excited, and I can't wait to hear the screech of Freddy's glove echo through the boiler room. Alright guys, that's all we have for today. The announcement has sent fans into a frenzy, and considering that Lifshitz and Margules have given us movies like Barbarian, I'm inclined to trust that the IP is safe in their hands. Jump in the comments below to let us know your thoughts, and if you liked this video, well, don't forget to hit the bell icon so you don't miss out on a new update about Freddy's revival. I'll see you in the next one, and sweet dreams. Yeah, cherish them as long as you can.